Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes, welcome to the Rebuild Podcast. Today we are going to be talking about the breaking news in the NBA of Kawhi Leonard wanting to be traded away from the San Antonio Spurs. I just want to give you guys my thoughts on this whole situation. I will be having a rebuild of this going out later on my channel for the San Antonio Spurs side of things. But for this, I'm simply going to talk about things, from Kawhi Leonard's perspectives. It may be the assets that the Spurs expect to get back or actually should get back, and what other teams are willing to give up. So, I gotta say this first, man. Kawhi Leonard is on a one-year contract. He's got a one-year contract. So you look at it from a leverage standpoint, I really don't think, some of these teams listed out here that are interested would want to give up too many players to get Kawhi Leonard 1 year earlier, just from the sense that it's like, from NBA standpoint, like 1 year, it's not that long, man. It's really not that long, because we all know that if Kawhi Leonard does not get traded, he's going to opt out after this next season. So it's like, he would be able to sign with one of those teams of his choosing out there. But also, that being said, Kawhi Leonard has a no-trade clause. He does not have a no-trade clause. So he simply does not really have big say in where he wants to go to. In a sense, because it's like, if you were a team like my Detroit Pistons, Kawhi Leonard's not going to re-sign with you after the season. So it's like, now there's not really too much you would give up. So it comes down to now the trade value of Kawhi Leonard. Like, where exactly does it stand? And I don't think it's all that great, guys. I don't think it's as amazing as people are making it to say out there, man. Like, people are saying, the Boston Celtics can give up, Jaylen Brown and Terry Rozier and, Al Horford and all this out there, man. 10 billion unprotected first-round draft picks. Why would they do that? They already have a really good team, and they could get Kawhi Leonard after this season without giving up that extremely young talent. From the Lakers side of things, I know people are saying, trades like Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma, maybe a first-round draft pick. That one I do understand, from the sense that would be good for like the long term of the of the San Antonio Spurs and what they want to do. Because it's like, at that point you're kind of going into a rebuild. You're kind of saying, okay, the Spurs last season, they were 7th place in the Western Conference. They were about 2 or 3 games out of the 3rd spot. They were in the bunch with everybody else out there. So it's like, if you add Ingram to that team this upcoming season, they are going to be a bit better. But I still think there's a trade out there that you could use with Kawhi Leonard to make this Clippers team win now, guys. People don't realize how great this squad was without Kawhi Leonard this season. They all see the 7th place spot. They're like, oh man, they were, middle of the road team, but really they weren't, man. They were a few games away from the 3rd place spot. So it's like, Ingram could come on this team now and he would be a nice addition. But I will say, out of all the teams that I think could most realistically get Kawhi Leonard, like would be willing to give up certain assets, I think it's the Los Angeles Clippers, which is one of the teams that he is interested in. And the reason I say that is because the Clippers are a team that are filled with like really good players, where it's like they could afford to let go of a few of those to get a superstar like Kawhi Leonard, but also guys that are going to help this really good Spurs team win now. One trade that I really do like is having DeAndre Jordan accept his player option, or maybe having to do some sort of reconstruction of his current contract, like some sort of sign trade, like DeAndre Jordan, Tobias Harris, maybe a few first-round draft picks, maybe toss in Lou Williams somehow for Kawhi Leonard, because in that case, it's like the Spurs are getting back players that can help them win now. It's also important to know that Tobias Harris is only like 25 or 26. He's one of the best shooting small forwards in the NBA. He can also play the 4 spot. DeAndre Jordan, while he is 30, he's still going to be a pretty solid presence, down low. All of a sudden, you got LaMarcus Aldridge, at the 4 spot, and you have DeAndre Jordan that's going to take care of some of the defensive and rebounding issues that team kind of saw or had with, Pau Gasol playing a lot of minutes out there. And, if you are also able to get Lou Williams, that might be a little bit too much. I'm just saying, it might be a little bit too much. Then you get a really solid, all-star caliber shooting guard. That's how he was playing like that last season, right? So I think the Clippers are realistically a really good fit. We talked about the Lakers a bit there. If you give up Ingram and also Kyle Kuzma, that's fine, because then then all of a sudden you make LeBron James happy. He's probably going to that team with Paul George. So that I do understand. I think it would kind of be between those two teams the most out there. I'm not really giving like the Clippers like this huge edge over the Lakers, just because I feel like the Spurs would also be just as happy getting a Brandon Ingram, who is going to be a future All-Star, I'll say, and also Kyle Kuzma, who I don't think will ever be an All-Star in the NBA, but he'll definitely be borderline with the way he plays out and his ability to score. It's just, like LaMarcus Aldridge and Kyle Kuzma both playing the same position, stuff like that. It's not really the sexiest fit out there. But I would also say that with that Lakers trade, it's kind of pointing more towards the direction of the Spurs going into a full-on rebuild. But I mean, Greg Popovich said that he is not going to coach after, I believe, the 2019 Olympics, or is it 2020, one of those years, something like that. So I personally would like to see them go for players that would help them win now. So, you know, kind of like, so Greg Popovich has one last go at a championship as one of the greatest coaches to ever coach the game of basketball. You look at the New York Knicks side of things. I know a lot of Knicks fans are very excited that Kawhi Leonard wants to go and play there, but, you know, the only possible way you're getting him is if you give up a Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, yeah, maybe the 8th pick overall, and Frank Ntilikina has them talking about it, but that's not going to be one of the better options out there. Yeah, it's a decent offer, but it's not one of the best offers. It's not going to land you a superstar MVP caliber player in Kawhi Leonard without Kristaps Porzingis, and you just don't do that. I really don't think you do that, because then it's just like replacing one all-star with, you know, obviously, like, Kawhi Leonard's better than Kristaps Porzingis right now, but it's not that huge of, like, an upgrade where there's not going to be any other players around Kawhi Leonard unless Knicks can, you know, maybe get some guys via free agency, which is totally an option, though, too. You look at the Celtics side of things, like I was saying, like, you know, Jaylen Brown, I know, and Terry Rozier, I was hearing that was kind of thing out there. Well, from the Spurs standpoint, yeah, if you get Jaylen Brown out of this, that's absolutely amazing. Like, Jaylen Brown just feels like the perfect player to be coached under a Greg Popovich system. You do have DeJounte Murray on that team as a point guard, so it's like, how committed are you guys to him as a point guard? I think he's very nice. So all of a sudden you got Terry Rozier, you have a little bit of a long jam at the starting point guard position. You know, two guys that are average point guards right now, but either one of them could really become I don't want to say an all-star, but pretty damn close. And with the Celtics, it's like you already have so many small forwards as is. You already have Gordon Hayward, you already have Jason Tatum with the logjam right there. You got Marcus Morris, whose name does not really need to be tossed in there, but I'm just saying, man, like, I don't think the Celtics absolutely need Kawhi Leonard. I guess he could play shooting guard, so all of a sudden you got Kawhi Leonard, Gordon Hayward, and Jason Tatum. That team's pretty damn good. I will say that, man. That team is pretty damn good, but I don't know. I don't think the Celtics absolutely need to do that. They're kind of fine with what they have right now, so yeah. I know the Miami Heat were another team that were kind of offered up there as a team that was highly interested in Kawhi Leonard. Same kind of situation as the Clippers, where I think they have a lot of really good players on that team. I don't think they have nearly as good of players to offer up as the Clippers do in this situation. So it's like they don't really have like an all-star or superstar to offer up, because Hassan Whiteside for Kawhi Leonard, that's not going to get it done at all. I know the 76ers were another option, and that was pretty much going to be like Dario Saric, probably a first-round draft pick, Markelle Fultz in exchange for Kawhi Leonard. So you kind of want to compare that to the same scenario as the Lakers, where you're kind of going for the future of the team, not so much the win now mode. And I really think that's the issue that people are having, guys, is people do not realize that this Spurs team, you know, I know people are saying there's no way the Spurs team could beat the Houston Rockets or the Golden State Warriors. You can really say that about any team in the NBA. For the most part. I mean, you know, like I said, the Lakers, if they get LeBron James and Paul George, that's a different story, right? But it's just about like how you value this Spurs team, how you value this roster, how much trust you put into Greg Popovich. Because I personally am one of those people that think that no matter what team Greg Popovich is coaching, they have a chance to win an NBA championship. This man is a legend. This man's done it for years. And that's just my thoughts on that, guys. So give me your thoughts on Kawhi Leonard in the comment section below. Besides for that, it's going to be a very interesting free agency. I have a feeling he's going to get traded a lot quicker than what people think out there. There was some reports that this was coming from a different party within Kawhi Leonard. It never came from his mouth himself, because there's also rumors saying that he's very interested in signing a super max contract worth $209 million. But I will say this. Do you know how disappointed I will be in this NBA offseason if it ends with Kawhi Leonard re-signing with the San Antonio Spurs and LeBron James re-signing with the Cleveland Cavaliers? I'm going to be so freaking upset, man. As a fan of the NBA, as a fan of, you know, free agency, the NBA draft, I love the offseason, guys. For me, like, the offseason, especially as somebody that does a lot of rebuilds, it's like the best time of year, man, because I get all these different video ideas to do and everything like that. So I like when things are different. I like when things are switched up. The best scenario I have for me, man, like I said, and I have to push this through, you guys, man. I gotta say this, is that I'm not saying the Clippers have the best players to offer up. I just think they have the most realistic players to offer up based off the situation of the contract and the leverage. I gotta put that through. I gotta say that, man. I don't think Tobias Harris is gonna have a better NBA career than Brandon Ingram. I just think that right now, Popovich retiring in a few seasons, I think he would get it done right now, man. I think he could win an NBA championship still. I got respect for the man out there, man. Poppy. Just saying. But I guess, like, the one team I would love to see, I want to see the downfall of the Golden State Warriors just as much as you guys do. So yes, if he goes to the Lakers and plays with LeBron James and Paul George and probably Lonzo Ball, I'm going to be extremely happy to watch that. Like, I definitely do want to see that. I don't want to see him go to the Boston Celtics. I'm sorry, Celtic fans. I'm not trying to be a hater or nothing like that. I just think that team has some really good talent on there. And then you're getting to the point where it's just like way too much of a good thing, man. Like way too much of a good thing. If we went to the 76ers, that'd be a fun watch, you know, him being the go-to scorer and kind of the leader in the locker room of that team. So give me your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.